Could Grayson Rodriguez be the ace the Orioles need? I know it's really hard to kind of look at him as a guy who hasn't finished a full season yet in the major leagues in his 2 years that he's been here, but could he provide everything the Orioles are looking for? Now, Grayson Rodriguez is still a 25-year-old major league pitcher who's only spent 2 seasons in the major leagues. Now, he's only pitched a total of 43 games in those 2 seasons, but when you kind of look at his numbers of what he did in 2023 and what he did in 2024, you see a guy that progressed. And he progressed well in pretty much every major category. What can you expect from him in 2025? Is he a guy that can take the ball on opening day? Is he a guy that can stare down Garrett Cole on the other side? Is he a guy that can stare down Max Fried on the other side? Is he a guy in game 1 of a wild card series that you trust to go out there and get you 6 solid innings? So in Grayson's rookie season here in 2023, posted a fairly good season. He made 23 starts to a 4.35 ERA, allowing 16 home runs, 42 walks, and 129 strikeouts. He allowed batters to hit .259 against him with a .321 OBP and a .418 slugging. Fast forward here to 2024, Grayson Rodriguez made 20 starts, had a 3.86 ERA, gave up 15 home runs to 36 walks and 130 strikeouts. Held batters to a .243 average, .305 OBP, and a .405 slugging percentage. So when we look at some of the major categories that people kind of look at, he got better in every single one of them. Now, when you look into his advanced analytics a little bit, from 23 to 24, pitched pretty much the same amount of games, same amount of innings. His K per 9 rate went up 1/2, so it went from 9.5 to a 10. His walks per 9 went from a 3.1 down to a 2.8. Strikeouts to walks went from a 3.1 up to a 3.6. Home run per 9 stayed the same at 1.2. His K percentage went up 1.5%. He went from a 25% to a 26.5%. And his walk ratio went from an 8.2% down to a 7.3%. The whip went down a full 10th, 1.34. to a 1.24. Left on base went up 4%, so it went from 72.2% to a 76%. His FIP went down from a 3.93 to a 3.66, and his xFIP went down from a 3.78 to a 3.57. Now again, these are advanced numbers that people look at when they grade starting pitching. When you look at Grayson, what can you expect here in 2025? Guy's gotten a little bit older, he's gotten a little bit mature. He's been in the big leagues now. This will be his 3rd full season. So the main takeaways that I want to look at with Grayson Rodriguez: 1, can he stay healthy? And what I mean by staying healthy, can he finish the entire season? 2, can he continue to improve these numbers here? And when I looked across baseball here, I know wins aren't the tell-all, be-all stat for a starting pitcher anymore, but more than half of their starts are non-decisions. So we didn't have a 20-game winner this year. Pretty much every starter in baseball that I looked at on the sheet had 30-plus starts. And only 6 of them had won more than half the games they started. It doesn't sound like a whole lot. And again, I know wins are not the all-be-all with starting pitching, but Grayson Rodriguez made 11 to 13 starts less than everyone else. He only made 20 starts, and he won 13 of those. So you're looking at a guy that potentially could have been a top 5 pitcher in baseball this year in the amount of wins. I understand the whole wins argument, but what I like about this is he had only had 7 starts where he wasn't a winning decision. So I like to see that. I mean, to get a win in baseball, you have to complete 5 innings. I like seeing guys complete 5 innings. The new norm nowadays, guys really don't make it through the 3rd time of a lineup. And if Grayson can continue to build himself up and pitch more and pitch effectively, we see these numbers fall, but he can continue to go deeper into games for us. That's ace-like stuff. And I know everyone wants to go out and get that ace-like guy. Look, Grayson Rodriguez was drafted to be this guy. Plain and simple. This was what he was drafted for. Thrust him into the role. See what he can provide you. Again, because you've looked at the numbers here in this video. He's gotten better across the board in almost every stat. I anticipate that same jump again from 24 to 25. Again, if he gets better in every single category, and he goes out there and he completes 5 innings, more than half of his starts, like most starters can't do nowadays, that leaves the Orioles in a really good position, especially around the trade deadline if they want to go out and acquire someone. But to have that guy that can stare down somebody else's ace, and get you out and get you into the 6th inning and get you a really strong start, that'd be really good for this baseball team. I think Grayson Rodriguez has all the tools to do this. He's a bulldog. We watch him out there. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, which sometimes is a bad thing. A lot of times it's a good thing. He gets fired up. The guys get fired up around him. This is what you want out of an ace. And at 25 years old, what better time for Grayson Rodriguez to step up and take that role than right now, when the Orioles need it most? Now, look, I'll admit it. Mike Elias has put a lot of eggs in these baskets here, relying on the guys that he spent time drafting and developing. Takes a lot of balls to do what Mike Elias is doing. But when we look at some of the guys that he's relying on these jumps for, they've all pretty much shown that they're capable of doing it. What are your thoughts on Grayson Rodriguez? Is he capable of making this jump? Is he capable of being an ace in your eyes? Let me know. And I'll catch you guys later.